You're live, but over here. Okay, there we go. There. There we go, gentlemen. So minimizing this for the moment.
You alright?
Yeah.
Alright, good.
Yep.
You good? You good?
I am great.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
You good? There?
Ah!
Perfect.
Thank all of you for doing this.
Yep.
Alright, I will be lighthearted. I'll just wing it, like you guys suggested, okay?
Yeah, just normal conversation, dude. You're
Normal
talking to
conversation,
friends.
yeah. Alright.
Imagine you're talking to those friends you told me about, the ones that I hope don't die.
Well, we're live, so it doesn't matter what we're saying. So
Yeah. Alright.
Yep.
and KStorm, keep an eye on the comment thread.
I am.
We'll answer all questions and
If any,
comments.
if any shows up, let's be honest.
We got a lot last time.
That was when we were discussing Onision, and he's a garbage fire. But this might also be a garbage fire, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
As a matter of fact, let me get my phone back.
Here's your phone.
There's some garbage. I don't know if it's gonna catch on fire anytime soon. Also, I gotta
Don't give
There
him
we go.
ideas.
Yes, I would like to formally apologize that I am somewhat underdressed compared to my co-hosts over here who are carrying proudly the symbol of the Ravens flock. That sadly I don't carry on me because I forgot.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So we all good?
Yeah, we're here. We're ready. Go ahead and give us your intro, Jose.
All right. Awesome. Well, hello everybody. Hello nerds tuning in. Welcome to another live stream edition of the Ravens Flock.
Yep. This time, we're not. This isn't like the live stream we did back in December, where we discussed the walking garbage can known as Onision. Even though he is still a walking garbage can, and I hope he catches this shit, but it's not possible because he is a hermit. No, we're talking about something far more deadly, far more dangerous, far more prescient.
Yep. We're here to address the coronavirus situation that has swept the entire world. It has become a global pandemic, and it has been a situation that's been building for weeks.
Your
And
battery's
now,
off.
recently, this situation has now escalated to the point where there have been cancellations, where there have been lockdowns, there have been travel has been suspended. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we're here to address all of it.
Or as much of it as we can get on our limited information.
Of course.
Mhm.
Oh
And
man!
of course, that means we're discussing the coronavirus, COVID-19. There's a lot of demonetization on YouTube right now whenever we try to discuss this shit. But the problem is, we're not monetized anyway, so we don't really care.
We're used to being broke, so we have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Except our lives, but those are not worth that much.
Let's face it, Susan Wojcicki's too lazy to talk to the press about the actual problems happening on YouTube. So we're pretty sure she's too lazy to hire hitmen for us.
I agree.
Mhm.
Now, before we talk about all these things, like first of all, we know what the coronavirus is, but I think it's best that we actually get into details with everybody watching and tell them, in verbatim of what we know about the coronavirus.
In the spirit of true journalism, we want to deliver some facts to the likes of you so you know exactly what we're dealing with. So, fun little fact, there isn't one coronavirus. There is actually a strain of viruses known as the coronaviruses. They're a family known for containing strains that cause potentially deadly diseases in mammals and birds. Fun fact, you're a mammal, just so you know. Some rare but notable strains are the ones that we're dealing with right now. They were first described in detail in the 1960s. They get their name for a distinctive corona of crown-like sugary proteins that protects you from the envelope surrounding the particle. So it's not just lethal, it's also sweet. If it doesn't kill your lungs, it'll kill your stomach.
Holy cow.
Encoding the virus makeup is the longest genome of the RNA-based virus. A single strand of nucleic acid has roughly 26,000 to 32,000 bases. There is 4 genuses in the family: alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. The one we're dealing with right now is known as COVID-19, or SARS-CoV-2, aka Corona-chan, aka the Wu flu. It was originally...
You're going to milk the hell out of that, by the way.
You are gonna
That's
milk
all right.
I
that.
have to explain today.
Okay, basically because it was first found as a serious disease in the Chinese city of Wuhan, so it's called the Wu flu. And because the symptoms of the virus are flu-like before they get really fucking bad.
Fucking
We're allowed to swear. This is the
You better
Ravens
watch
Flock.
out, man. I know Wu flu.
I'll
I'm going to throw something at you, and it is going to hurt.
That's the one time I'm joking about it, and I'm gonna leave.
All right, but
Okay.
serious style though. It is at the time of writing, as in now, the numbers of the infected are still rising, with a mortality rate of about 1%, recently increased to 3 to 4%.
Before we forget, and before anyone tries to be an a-hole and point it out, yes, we're perfectly aware that the low battery light is on over my face, wherever that is. But the problem with that is, we actually have the camera hooked up to a power cable, and for some reason, it's blinking this as if there was no power.
It actually represents.
It's right over my head.
It actually.
You've got power.
Okay.
Alright, you.
Also, our friend Juan knows that the battery represents the encroaching metaphor for his impending mortality, but that's not important.
Oh no!
Snakes
Oh, no.
were originally suspected as the potential source for the outbreak, though other experts have deemed this unlikely and proposed bats instead.
Hey, don't pick on the bats.
Well, unfortunately, the bats got picked real bad on. The general opinion seems to be that the excessive consumption of a certain dish known as bat soup may have given birth to this problem. And considering that bats are one of the races of mammals that is the most susceptible to rabies than anything else, it is a very likely proposition, but as of now, it has not been truly confirmed. They are still searching for the animal of origin. It's just a general consensus going, stop eating bat soup. Also, has anyone seen a picture of bat soup? That looks terrifying.
For the record, that's an urban myth that people got it by eating bat soup.
Really?
In China.
It is.
It's
It really, really is.
So it's just really disgusting instead.
Yeah.
The bat family realized that the do not kill code was being violated on them, so they decided to strike back. And Bruce
Hey.
Lee taking no prisoners.
No,
Oh.
no picking on the bats. They get picked on by the government. They
Right.
get picked on by the governments enough, and their populations are declining rapidly. Don't
Speaking-
pick on the bats.
Thank you.
Speaking of declining population, in the ever so useful lands of the internet, as of this moment, and mind you, this is pending to change, by which I mean it's pending to increase like a Super Saiyan's power level.
Yeah.
As of now, there has been 156,086 recorded cases of the coronavirus worldwide, with a total toll of 5,821 deaths and a total recovered amount of patients of 74,460. As of now, 92 of the patients are in mild condition, 8% have deemed serious or critical, with a total of 80,281 close cases, and a number that just keeps increasing and increasing and shows absolutely no signs of ever slowing down.
Now, let us all take a moment to just a quick second of silence for those who have passed, because people have died.
And they're still dying.
Angel.
Angel.
Come on, Angel.
Okay, now, moving on.
We would like to
Because
send
life
our-
is cheap to Angel.
Life is cheap to everyone. Have you seen how the business are treating this entire shenanigans?
For once, we've actually seen a little bit of ethical work from some of the major business industries out there. There's
Yes.
actually people taking proper precautions. However, there's some businesses that still could do better, but
Everyone could.
like,
man.
we're getting there.
Right. Speaking of getting there, Corona Chan is getting everywhere. It would
Everywhere.
seem that, unfortunately, besides the virus, there is no greater enemy than the foolishness of humanity. And it would seem that a lot of people have become almost bold-facedly obsessed with breaking quarantine, which has resulted in the virus spreading far faster and far farther than anyone expected possible. Consider the fact that we live in a time when North Korea took the appropriate precautions and they closed down the country immediately.
I mean, well,
That's a freaking that's a freaking change of pace.
North Korea decided to
What?
take the smart solution, and any package that comes into the country needs to be at least for 10 days in quarantine and sterilization before being delivered.
What about okay? So anything
Wow.
that's coming in or going out or both?
Yes.
Anything any
Everything.
sort of freight
They,
going.
they literally come
So
over.
go fucking figure. North
Okay.
Korea, Kim Jong-un. Maybe we shouldn't have sent James Franco and Seth Rogen to assassinate them after all.
We are
Maybe.
truly
No,
result-
we probably definitely should.
Yeah,
But
probably.
he's
Still-
such a firework, though.
You dork.
Don't show him what he's worth.
Now,
Right,
as far,
right,
as
right.
far as
As
far as other situations that's happening around the world, I've read that Italy is on
Oh, jeez.
is on full lockdown.
That's right. The entire country of Italy is 100% quarantined, locked out. No one comes in, no one goes out. No one is allowed to travel to that country under any circumstance. And it's not working out as well as people thought. Within the first 48 hours of the nationwide quarantine in Italy, the death toll from those who had actually been confirmed as infected with the coronavirus has shot up from a little over 170 to, 900 deaths?
Give or take. I believe
It's bad.
There's talk of the medical community in Italy basically going, yeah, we're reaching the level where we're going to have to go into emergency, and that means that we're going to take care of the younger people, but the elderly are going down.
They're already to that point.
Oh, we're already reached that level.
They're having to do it. They're having to do triages wartime style. Who will have the better quality of life if they survive?
I understand where it comes from a coldly pragmatic point, but it still kind of sucks.
It sucks.
That you have to leave the older generation to go because of the elder ender that's basically running in. And it's been a month. Guys, it's been literally a month since we identified this virus. Look all that I'm saying she already. Fucking internet. Look all that it's done. It's spread through almost the entire world. Death toll is already on the 4 digits. And somehow people are still not getting the common sense to know how to treat this damn thing.
And
amazing. I would be amazed, honestly.
They're having to make, well, it is a hard choice. Let's say I have X amount of resources. Do I use 75% of those resources to save this one elder because it's going to take that much to save them? Or do I use that same amount of resources to save 2 or 3 younger people?
You got to think of it on pragmatic, cruel terms.
And it sucks.
There is no decision to make. You already know what is the decision you have to make. Sleepless nights are going to follow.
You have to make a hard judgment call.
Yeah.
See, here's the trouble about it, though. All of this didn't just happen overnight.
Oh, no.
No, this has actually been an issue that was developing since at least the middle of February, at the very least. And we know of this because of different stories that have been coming out in the news about, okay, there's this weird flu coming out, and there have been people who were quarantined off of a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And at first, the People's Democratic Republic of China. Sorry, that is a load of words.
And it's also
Something went down the wrong hole there. I was
Good?
I'm good.
You had too many beers today.
Sorry about that. Whoa, my phone. Jesus Christ.
went flying.
I hope this doesn't break
but
too.
apparently, the issue of this infection had not spread properly in terms of the knowledge, not the infection, until the Chinese government basically had to come forward and admit, yeah, we kind of knew about this, and we have every citizen in our country under a military lockdown and code of silence that they're basically being threatened with death and stuff.
Remember
if
that?
If they speak up.
Remember that doctor from China who tried to speak up and he was forcibly quarantining his own home and he died from the flu?
Because he didn't have the proper
He
care.
got flu to death because he tried to tell the truth.
It gets worse.
Welcome to China. Enjoy your stay.
It was apparently a building that, I don't remember the article, and you can look this up on your own. Please take this anecdotally with as much a grain of salt as you can, because we had to buy a couple of pillars of salt today, so we have a salt shortage.
Yes.
But
At least that we don't have a shortage of that.
Right.
But the issue was that apparently there were many people who were infected, who were quarantined in China, and the building upon which they were quarantined had suddenly and very, very strangely and tragically and inconveniently was completely demolished internally from the inside out.
Who could have possibly
We
seen
predicted
this?
that.
I'm pretty sure this is a plot to like 3 video games and 1 horror movie.
Jeez
Then
Louise.
again, China is a running horror carnival from what we've
See,
seen.
it's kind of easy to make Resident Evil jokes right now.
Yeah, a little too easy to be honest
Almost.
with you.
Except, we don't have zombies yet.
Now, I don't know why.
Let's not have zombies, especially
Let's
not biohazard
not.
zombies. Let's
Please.
please
Let's try to avoid
knock
this.
on every single bit of wood
Knock
you
on wood for
can.
that, Juancho.
Got it.
Now,
Not yourself.
You said wood.
Does it come from a tree or is it made of your body?
Technically, I'm made of organic matter, which trees are also made of.
No. Is it made of a tree? Was it grown from a tree?
Yes, that's why it's called a trunk.
don't argue with him.
He's going to make any...
Moving on.
Damn it, Angel!
So I digress.
All right. So
Aside from that information, there's the fact that for some bizarre reason, and I better hope it's something what it is, the World Medical Association just kind of rolled on the ball with China here, and they just kind of kept dragging their feet and not saying anything until suddenly, oh shit, it's happening. In fact, if I recall, those idiots, and I gotta call them that, because they went as far as to praise China when they were working on curing the disease. I'm like, no, you don't deserve praise.
No!
You're trying to fix a problem you are responsible for.
This is like trying to teach a kid to clean up after their own mess. I'm sorry, but you made the mess. It's time for you to learn to pick it up after
Own
yourself.
up to your mistakes, fool.
Exactly.
There's also another bizarre rumor going on. Once again, grain of salt, as my good old
These are
friend
just
says
rumors
here.
and
Please.
innuendo.
And I don't know if there's a report on this one. There probably is. That apparently this virus may have been created in a laboratory by accident. It was supposed to be being tested on animals, and it may have resulted on developing a human strand. And some poor son of a gun walked out with it, and the rest is painful infectious history. Don't take too much stock on that one. Right now, the main one seems to be just, hey man, nature just got tired of our shit, and it's time for us to go down. And of course, as expected, there have been several cases of people purposely breaking quarantine, including the infamous case of some crazy bastard who knew he tested positive, and he purposely got on a flight and demanded first class, ergo infecting the entire plane. Which, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that if somebody dies because of that on that plane, that's on him or her, or whoever the hell did it.
Yeah.
So on one hand, so basically we have a virus that escalated to an incredibly difficult problem because the country where it came from refused to break the news until it was too late, and the World Medical Association that was supposed to be working, to keep our asses alive.
Well, that's where
I know, I just don't feel like fucking is good enough for this. I need to invent a new word for it.
Freaking.
Hijo de puta. That's not
that's
good
still
enough.
that's still in.
Anyway, those pendejos fucked up.
Yes.
For lack of a better term, lack of information, lack of structure, lack of quick preparedness, and then, because there are only two things in this world infinite, stupidity and the human universe, human stupidity and the universe, and I'm not quite sure about the later, people began to break quarantine, repeatedly, often. Travel, run, talk to people. Constant news and reports have been coming in of people purposely going to large gatherings of people, even though every single doctor worth their salt is telling you, don't do the thing.
Now,
Medical book says this bad.
no, and I agree. And while we here in the United States, none of us have gone to that extremes yet,
That we know of.
that still doesn't change the fact that, this whole coronavirus has thrown everyone here in the States into a frenzy.
Not just any kind of frenzy, but the kind of frenzy that you would expect people to try to take with a little bit of calm and with good humor and aplomb and rapport, and basically treat themselves and their fellow neighbors the way we.
Don't be.
I'm sorry.
You're giving America too much
I
credit.
can't. No, we're fucking running around like chickens with our heads chopped off.
Chopped off.
I should know, because when we were younger, we've seen chickens get their heads chopped off by our grandmother. She did it in order to feed us. It was horrifying, but we still ate the chicken. It tasted all right, even though it was kind of lanky. Oh my god. Anyway,
I saw it happen the second time in 2000. But anyways, no. As far as preparations for the coronavirus, and we have all visited department stores, grocery stores, and whatnot. People, as far as we're concerned here locally, they have stocked up on provisions. They've stocked up on water. They've stocked up on canned food. They've stocked up on toilet paper. They've stocked up on all these provisionary items. Basically,
Wait, is this a hurricane?
It kind of feels
Hey,
like
that was
Hurricane Corona. It's called.
Because you really, even for 30 days, you do not need, unless you have a household of like 10 people, you don't need that much toilet paper or that much hand sanitizer. Unless you're intending to bathe yourself daily in hand sanitizer.
Here's the problem, Lyra. When society inevitably finishes its collapse, you're going to need some manner of currency. Toilet paper will have to do. Because we have reached the point where hand sanitizer has become an ambrosia of the gods. Unfindable unless you plunder the deepest reaches.
You can make that.
Equipment.
Dude, you can make that shit.
Actually, here's the question I don't get, though.
What's up?
Why aren't people buying more alcohol? It's technically water, and it will purify your shit from the inside out.
they are.
They are.
Which is why the Russians are going to survive
No,
everything.
he is talking liquor, not.
They are, and I can tell this without any sort of problem, because as we went out to go pick up some groceries today, we found one person with a cart of nothing but
wine. Nothing but wine.
Oh yeah, that guy's gonna party.
I even have
Wine and beer. Wine and beer.
Oh yeah, they're gonna party.
I even have a friend who she's living over on the other side of the state. She's like, oh, it's okay, I'm fully stocked. I've got 2 whole cases of red wine because those are natural antivirals.
Right.
Well,
And
if you think about it, it makes sense, because if it doesn't kill what ails you, you need a drink to get through this shit.
It's as the old adage goes: rubbing alcohols for the outside alleys, drinking alcohols for the inside
ones.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Okay.
inside Anyway, so moving on to the important parts.
Are you gonna buy some booze?
Eventually. Actually, the funny thing is,
I can share.
because I'm kind of broke because of bills, I actually had an idea of just basically putting a table here before we started and just getting a huge pack of Corona beer and just dropping it in there.
You
For no reason.
asshole.
Just leave it
Dude.
in there.
I hope you understand. No one in this household actually drinks Corona.
I'm not asking.
No, nobody in this house drinks
It's a prop.
drinks beer. Well, correction. Doesn't count as beer in this.
Guinness
Guinness
is not
is
beer.
a lager.
Guinness is the
Guinness
lifeblood of the Irish.
But back to the hand sanitizer subject. You guys do know you can make that.
It's
shit.
literally rubbing alcohol.
No.
people.
Did you?
It's not
Do you
just
have
rubbing
the
alcohol.
instructions?
I do. I'm looking at something here. Two-thirds of a cup of 90% or higher rubbing alcohol. That would be the isopropyl alcohol or ethanol if you can't find the isopropyl. Third a cup aloe vera gel. 8 to 10 drops of your choice of essential oil, which isn't required, but most people don't like the strict alcohol smell.
Don't hurt.
Stir it up. Pour it into an empty bottle. Boom.
Problem
Done.
solved.
Wow.
Now I feel like we're getting a little too relaxed.
Universe, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So now that Lyra has given us the instructions to not die during the impending Wu flu apocalypse,
Yeah, but now
Don't die.
on to other things that are related to the coronavirus. Like, oh boy, everyone is pissed off about, well, not pissed, but concerned because of the ongoing cancellations of events that have been happening around this month, like the NBA season, the March Madness, college basketball canceled.
March Madness is
College
college, college basketball.
speaking of which,
Canceled.
there was a very controversial incident that an NFL player
And don't you mean NBA?
no NBA, sorry, knew that he
Mofo
was
doesn't know
infected.
his
I don't know
sports.
sports. All I see is acronyms and shit.
All right, but go on.
Ha.
There was a dude that was infected. I can't remember his name, and he purposely got up in the middle of a press conference and rubbed his hands over every single microphone and camera. And all I could see when I saw that clip was thinking, man, this guy really wants that day off.
Really wants a day off.
That vacation time because the entire NFL is shutting down. The
NBA.
NBA is gone.
Except the XFL has
The slam
has
jam
been
part of
canceled.
filming has stopped. And
Baseball's postponing spring training. I've heard, I have to refine my source, but there are some areas where they are yanking the teams out of their spring training zones.
No surprises.
And likely the season's going to be delayed. But then again, that makes sense.
Yeah. NASCAR will continue to do their will continue to hold their events, but they're going to be doing it on
Why
empty
not?
arenas with
You
no.
can't
no
Okay.
flu if you are too fast for it.
No, I was about to say, okay, then that would, do you want to kill all the rednecks and those who prefer racing? Not saying those are one and the same, thankfully. I just met, I have too many.
Wow, KStorm.
Hey, I have too many redneck family that love NASCAR stuff.
Would you like
But
to show
thank
us
you.
Any further than your foot in the next 5 seconds.
How much?
I can stick it further, but I don't want to.
You
But
horrible
thank you for saying,
monster.
I am a redneck,
Exactly.
so I'm entitled.
No, that makes you a masochistic racist.
I
Yeah,
never
okay.
denied that.
Angel,
You hate
KStorm,
yourself, and
drop
you
the
hate
shit.
people that go to the races.
Okay,
Racists.
Angel, please,
Ah!
please.
Hey, you made a good joke.
I like
No,
Okay.
thank you for clarifying that they are going to be doing it at
Okay,
empty arenas, because honestly, they should stop it altogether because of the requirement of travel.
Absolutely.
You would think so.
Disney World, Universal Orlando, and Disneyland over in California have all been shut down
for the
until
first time
until the end of the
since-
month.
I don't remember how long. What was it? In the 90s?
I don't know,
98.
but all Busch Gardens and every company related to them has also closed. Unfortunately though, for those who work Universal, I will have to reconfirm, but I did see articles that Universal employees are being required to come in anyway.
Why?
That's
Cleaning.
bullshit.
Cleaning.
Cleaning the empty place where people are not going to. I'm sorry. My brain
No,
boggles.
cleaning
it's a-
and disinfecting, preparing it so when they do
Oh.
open.
It's the same reason why I fully expect to hear from some of my teacher friends that they're being called in during this extra off week that the state of Florida is being given
Jesus
for
Christ.
spring break so that they can help clean their classrooms. I
Yeah.
would not be surprised because it would help them save
Funny thing is, the combination between these parks shutting down and the recent, I'm not going to say fuck up, let's just say divisive failure of the most recent Disney movies means that for the first time in a long time, they are no longer the monumental cultural giant they used to be. In fact, it's a little surprising just how much Corona has affected and kind of completely fucked up many of the business norms that we took for granted because, according to good old-fashioned medical experts, corona transmits through bodily fluids, close contact, and fecal matter. And turns out a lot of things in this world require a lot of close contact with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oops.
Such as going to amusement parks.
Who knew? Getting all those people in the same place might be bad for their health.
What were the odds?
Now,
What's
sorry,
a little bit closer to the point here at home, and how this is affecting our geek community is not just how it's affecting us over at going to these attractions and these music parks and these sporting events, but how does Ravenflock make our mark in the geek world? We go to conventions.
We go to cons. We go to nerd events. We go
Cons?
out there
What
to.
cons? There are no more cons.
Oh yeah. This has been reported recently that Omni Fandom Expo, which is supposed to be held this year in Kissimmee, Florida, has been postponed until further notice.
This
Yeah,
next weekend,
SwampCon
in
was
fact.
supposed to be happening now is canceled.
keywords.
Florida Polycon, which was happening at the Florida Polytechnical Institute in Lakeland, Florida, was canceled.
It's supposed to be held at the first weekend of April.
Funny thing about those are on those.
Or all,
They all are on, with the exception of Omni, on school campuses, colleges specifically, and those campuses are closing. Now, SwampCon was closed by order of the University of Florida, where it's held, because in Gainesville, 48 hours prior to their announcement that they were canceling SwampCon, confirmed case.
Figures.
So it's confirmed in the city, and they don't want to risk spreading it.
Heck, even our normal
Which is fair.
day-to-day jobs are being affected by it. If I recall, you told me that your employment and my employer
Yeah.
they have canceled all meetings, which admittedly our risk is somewhat minimized because we work in offices and cubicles. But
Well, the
still.
only thing that's changed for my job is because from where I work, we're going to be taking in more customers, more calls coming in.
Yeah, on my side, actually, depending on what happens to my job, I might end up taking a lot less calls coming in. Oh, right. The virus is I'm just saying, the virus targets the elderly way more than it targets adults and children, so they are more at risk.
Well, not so much that it targets them.
yeah, it's not targeting. We're not talking about snipers. We're talking about
Now I'm just imagining
not
Corona Chan with a
but-
sniper rifle.
But hey, now we're going to see how many of those meetings could have just been emails.
You know what? Yes.
Yes.
Now, it is time for some fact-checking here, because the people need to
Yes,
know.
please.
With the sheer amount of panic that this thing is initiating, it almost seems like an excess amount of screaming. It's not the Black Plague, guys.
And yes, we are completely aware that the fact-checking details aren't being presented by the motherfucker who is filleting the Corona Chan anime persona.
It's funny, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
So we're totally aware of that.
Yeah.
No, it's not lost on us.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I enjoy the contrast of the fact that I'm making out of the situation to cope with the few horrible things that are happening right now. But mostly because I get to give the truth to people, and I find that hilarious.
Yeah. No.
The truth
Good
hurts so much that
God.
it makes me laugh.
But anyways, no. But apart from what you've already told us, what we already know before even live streaming is that the coronavirus like has no effect on individuals who have strong immune systems, and seems to also be affecting those who are of older age.
Part of that's been disproven. It's not that it has no effect. It's that those with stronger immune systems are more likely to recover. Because I guarantee you, if one of us were to catch it, we'd be going through hell.
Oh, yes, we would.
We'd survive it, assuming we got appropriate medical treatment if it went that far, but we'd go through hell
Yeah.
Now,
big time.
what actually happens to your body when the Wu flu pays it a visit? The
Yes,
new strain of COVID is so actually
COVID.
COVID.
COVID-19. Kobe.
Really?
Jeez,
Too
dude.
late.
COVID-19.
Move on.
Right, so the strain is actually so genetically similar to SARS that's why it's called SARS-CoV-2. So combining early research from the outbreak with past knowledge of the SARS and MERS can give a rough answer. The ground zero is always your lungs. For most patients, it begins and ends in their lungs. Usually it ends. Because like the flu, the coronavirus is classified as a respiratory disease. They spread when an infected person coughs or sneezes, spraying droplets that can transmit the virus to anyone in close contact. They also can cause flu-like symptoms. Patients might start out with a fever and a cough that progresses to pneumonia or even worse. After the outbreak organization reported that the disease attacks the lungs in 3 phases.
Hang on. Something's up with your microphone.
Is something wrong? Can you hear me?
No, look at your thing. Pass me your.
Here's my thing. Is it wrong again?
No,
Here.
I'm getting.
Right from the top.
No,
Okay.
See,
I'm
if
getting-
Your light, if you're, see, look what I'm. See, you can't hear me. Your light's not on.
Okay, it is on now, right?
Please cover your mouth.
And now
no,
off.
it's off.
What is going on? And now it's on. And now it stays on.
It's
Hold
the. It's
Hang
the
on a
thing.
minute.
You know what I'm saying?
We appear to be experiencing.
We
something.
can't hear you.
We appear to
We
be
can't hear
experiencing a
you.
minor technical difficulty.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay then. Sorry about that.
How about that?
Okay, let me just put this right over here so it doesn't get touched by anything.
Yep.
Okay, so let's
Back
begin.
to where we were going, because you
Back to the
actually
basics.
were
So,
doing fairly decent.
I was explaining what is happening when that thing gets to your lungs. It's classified as a respiratory disease that is very similar to SARS. The next strain is very genetically similar, so they've been doing some combination of knowledge from the past, knowledge from the present. It begins on your lungs, and it begins in 3 phases: viral replication, immune hyperreactivity, and pulmonary destruction. And if that doesn't send a shiver down the spine, I don't know what does. Now, not all patients go through all 3 phases. In fact, about 25% of the patients suffer respiratory failure. The defining signature causes milder symptoms. So here's how the whole thing works. Mucus. First, when the infection begins, it begins by building up lines of mucus inside your lungs. It's supposed to protect your tissue from pathogens and make sure that you breathe properly. How it works is that it basically infects and kills your cilia cells, which then sloughed off and fill your airways with debris, creating what can only be described as this sticky mantle of gray mucus covering your lungs from the inside out, causing you to choke to death on your own breathing. Second stage, combined with symptoms of shortness of breath and pneumonia, is when the problem begins. Normally, this is when your immune system goes in and goes, okay, we gotta stop this shit before it gets worse. The problem is this results in your immune system going haywire and it starts killing everything inside, including the healthy tissue of your lungs.
A la allergic reactions. For those of you who may not know entirely how some of the really bad allergic reactions happen, he just described it.
Yep.
It will not only attack the health, especially for those with asthma or other nasal type allergies. That's exactly what happened.
Yep. And of course, it gets worse and worse when the virus begins to get on SARS-like characteristics and literally punch holes in your lungs. Assuming that patients can survive part 3, they are very likely to end up with what amounts to permanent lung damage. And through some recent discoveries, it's been found out that if this thing gets bad enough, it will go beyond your lungs and start to fuck up your central nervous system.
So even if you manage to survive the worst of this stuff, meaning the actual pulmonary mucus buildup that might actually literally drown you to death, you'll still wind up having a compromised nervous system.
That's if your body is what he's failing. What he is failing to mention is that's if your body is unsuccessful or in partial or in whole in fighting it off.
Yeah, I'm talking here about worst case scenario.
Absolute worst case scenario.
That has resulted in 5,000 plus deaths is that point, essentially.
Yeah.
Basically.
There was a particular case when some poor Asian fellow ended up infected with it, and he only survived because he was A, 21 years old, and B, his case was so severe, they had to give him AIDS medication. They had to give him the shit that you use to fight immunodeficient disease. Because
that's what it becomes.
Going, we're done. We gotta go. Goodbye.
That's basically what it becomes. It becomes a attack. It attacks your immune system in a way not much else has before and since HIV.
And
unfortunately.
And because we are not putting, crap on this shit sandwich, it was also find out that contrary to what most medical professionals believe, the virus does not have a 14-day life period. In fact, it's longer than that. One fellow was kept in quarantine for a certain amount of time, 14 days.
Is the average.
And came back 3 days later after testing positive anyway. So not only is it extremely dangerous, it's also dangerously resilient. When you die, but she's still sucking.
The average time for presenting of symptoms is between 2 days from exposure to 14, though it has been accepted and obviously proven. There will be outliers, so if you feel like crap, now we are not doctors.
Cut it out. Angel.
Okay, none of us are doctors. You guys all know that. None of us are doctors. But if you feel bad, take care of yourself, call your doctor. Don't go in case it's just a normal cold. You risk exposing yourself to those who may think it's just a cold. Call your doctor, explain your symptoms, and let them tell you, should you go to the doctor's office? Should you go to urgent care? Should you go to the ER? But remember, if you don't feel right, something's probably not right.
Correct. And as far as individuals who are on the subject of individuals, I'm actually glad you brought that up because not only was one of the athletes from the NBA who was tested positive, but several individuals that we know of that has been reported have also tested positive for the coronavirus,
including America's dad,
America's
Tom
dad.
fucking Hanks.
Tom Hanks, and I believe
his wife Rita Wilson.
I don't want to lose Woody to the flu. That's just terrible.
I don't want to lose Woody. No one wants to lose Woody to the flu.
A world without Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump that got grumped by the.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a joke. It's
No, you're fine.
General, guys.
As far as my knowledge goes, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, his wife has tested positive for coronavirus.
This is true.
Yep, and in a matter of hysterical, terrible political hilarity, it was an aide to the Brazilian president who had recently spoken to and shook hands with President Donald Trump, had also tested positive for the coronavirus, which means it's a 50-50 chance that Trump has it too. Which means if that's the case, everyone working in the White House has it too.
And this happened at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
His resort.
His resort down here in Florida.
So
that makes it even worse.
Also, in a hilarious sort of irony, the country everybody expected to get most infected is Africa has one of the lowest cases reported so far. Because, little known fact, guys, Africa is kind of freaking huge. And between cities and towns, there's just a lot of savanna and empty space. Then again, they're also an underdeveloped ass country. So, for all we know, they just aren't reporting the numbers properly. But in cases, of all the places to not get the flu, Africa appears to be one of the places that is relatively empty of it, if only for the lack of people to get it somehow.
Good God,
My goodness.
What is going on in this place?
Well, if
The
you
thing is,
think about it,
we bless the rains down in Africa.
Son of a bitch!
well, also if you think about it, what time of year do most people tend to get colds and flus? In the winter, right?
Yes.
We are heading into spring. Northern Hemisphere is heading into spring. Southern Hemisphere is just heading into fall, and Africa straddles the equator.
Oh, good point.
That means they're basically getting.
They are like all summer all the time.
Yeah.
That explains everything.
So that explains it all. Folks are being very, very cautious about this and are just hoping that we can survive to summer, where this shit may actually just die out in the heat.
Or get worse.
It's not so much that. What else do people do when it's cold?
They bundle up and stay inside?
They stay indoors. They
Oh.
go into areas where it's cold, where there's lots of people, easily spread, and it has been fairly proven that cold depresses your immune system.
Here we go.
Go figure.
So, for those of us in our current area of sunny Florida, it got up to 80-something today. So we're looking at, by end of month, beginning of April, hitting 90 already. If you can avoid people, but still go outside, like if you have for those of you in apartments, if you have patios or balconies, for those of you with houses, your backyards, spend some time out in the sun, in the heat.
Yep.
Get all that good outdoor time, at least a little bit every day. It'll help.
Yes, indeed.
It'll let you breathe easier, if nothing else. And
No.
of course.
Except for those with allergies, of course.
Yeah,
Well, that's their problem. I'm sorry, I can't help you there.
no.
Angel.
And then, as far as other events that are happening, like not all events are canceling, thankfully. The Pride Parade that was supposed to be held in Florida, in Tampa, in Ybor at the end of March, has been postponed, moved up to, I believe, on May 30th. No, June 30th.
June 30th or May?
No, May 30th.
May 30th.
May 30th? Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yes,
Because
May.
June is National Pride Month. So us moving Tampa's Pride Parade from the end of this month to
Usually the reason we have it so early is because it does get way warmer here faster, and that time of year, we're going to be already looking at 100-degree weather.
Warmer
Please be
and
aware,
stormy.
you can't be proud if you're
100-degree weather.
There's also the event that
I'm
was
getting
in
there. I'm getting there.
and I wanted to bring a point, but
Oh no, I'm
okay,
getting
fine.
there.
Go
I'm getting
ahead.
there.
Get there.
As far as, because I know what you're talking about, because for all them wrestling nerds out there.
Get there.
Yes. As far as wrestling promotions are concerned, first of all, I mean, because we have a lot of nerds that pay attention to it, New Japan Pro Wrestling has canceled or postponed all of their events and travel due to the coronavirus situation. Organizers of Ring of Honor, All Elite Wrestling, and the top of the mountain of professional wrestling, which is the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, they are monitoring the situation and they are taking their own steps to continue to travel, to produce their content, and also stay safe. As far as All Elite Wrestling is concerned, they have recently switched their event venues. On their next taping of Dynamite on Wednesday, instead of hosting it in Rochester, New York, they're going to be holding it down here in Jacksonville, Florida. And as far as the WWE is concerned, they're filming all their shows of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. Now, for the biggest show, the show that everyone has a ticket for, that everyone has been waiting for, even us Tampa Bay nerds, WrestleMania. This is something I want to talk about. Just for a bit.
Boy, here we go.
Because here's the thing.
Here we go.
No. There was a conference. There was a meeting that was held with the mayor.
it's with the councilman of Hillsborough County. It was held on Thursday.
Yes, to where Vince McMahon was party to that meeting.
Oh boy.
Now, what they've come to the conclusion is that, from what I've gathered from my sources, is that the WWE is given
Sources
1 week.
means me.
Yes, they're basically given 1 week to see if they're going to take any precautionary measures due to the coronavirus situation. And if nothing changes within a week from the WWE, the council's going to reconvene for another meeting to decide if WrestleMania will be postponed or canceled.
Wait, hang on. You got a week to figure out what to do, or we'll get together to figure out what to do.
We'll make a decision for you.
Or they'll make the final
On
determination
one
is
hand,
what they're
I
trying to
appreciate
say.
them taking measures. On the other hand, after everything you guys have told me about the WWE's style of management, I would not be surprised if Mr. Vince just fucking went, screw it. If they die, they die.
He already did that.
What? See?
No.
I'm making the jokes and they're
What
making
year was
them
it?
for me.
1998 or 99?
Son of a
It was
bitch.
99, right?
It was 99.
There was a show that happened in 1999. And, what was it called again? Over the Edge?
Over the
Fuck.
edge. 99.
Yeah. And, I hate to retread history in this matter, but Owen Hart fucking died in an opening stunt for his entrance.
Jesus.
And Vince McMahon decided that they should let the show go on anyway. So you made a joke just now of if they die, they die. Motherfucker already did that 20 years ago.
So the satire,
think that
satire just leads into
No,
reality now.
no, this is it. You're trying to make it satire, but there's already a record of it having been real.
There's
Why
precedent.
are we trying to put South Park out of business?
You can't. We can't. They're trying for 20 years to try to make themselves go
They're
out
just
of business.
making lifetime documentaries now. But, well, of course, as
but-
every wrestling fan knows, two giant, sweaty muscle men beating each other up on a mat filled with human fluids is not exactly the healthiest environment.
However, there are some members of the wrestling community, of the pro wrestling community, who are taking this matter with good humor. I was joking earlier because, there's no fucking civility in this planet.
Yeah,
But
go
there's
on.
one guy who was actually trying to take the piss out of the situation.
Whomst.
From All Elite Wrestling, Hangman Adam Page. He has given out an official statement, which I'm going to read to you now in verbatim, in quotation.
Oh, boy.
Go right ahead.
All right, and this is a statement that he put up, and the little header in his logo, it actually reads, typed onto a piece of paper by an AEW errand boy at the drunken behest of Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, Lord.
Amid the current rapidly evolving COVID-19 situation, Hangman Adam Page wishes to inform you that he will be taking necessary precautions to ensure his continued health and safety, as well as the health and safety of his fans across the globe. In addition to the following to suggestions and mandates from health organizations and government officials, Hangman Adam Page has committed to the following actions. Number 1, Hangman Adam Page will, for the time being, no longer be able to accept beer from any fans should they be in attendance of events.
Huh.
Adam will now be traveling with his own beverages to consume and looks forward to instances of conveniently appearing unopened beverages. Number 2. Hangman Adam Page will now be exclusively drinking whiskey in hopes that the higher alcohol content will help stave off potential infection. Number 3. Hangman in the future, wrestling exhibitions, Hangman Adam Page will be avoiding applying any wrestling holds that create close contact with opponents' faces. That it includes maneuvers like belly-to-belly suplex, the mandible claw, and the thing he did that time where Frankie Kazarian spit on him, then he licked it up and spit it back on him in an act of defiance.
I was joking about shit like this, and it's just happening in real time.
Go on.
In addition to these necessary actions, Hangman Adam Page would like to further encourage his fans to follow these proper precautions and practices. Number 1, wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after you've been in a public place. Number 2, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Number 3, avoid public gatherings when possible. Number 4, buy a 6-pack of Corona beer. Honestly, they have nothing to do with this and they did nothing wrong. Number 5, apply your turn signal before turning or changing lanes.
What the fuck?
Number 6, consider the benefits of Medicare for All system in which U.S. citizens could get care rapidly and without a considerable cost should they begin to display symptoms of coronavirus or any other malady, possibly preventing its effect and spread. And finally, try ordering pineapple as a topping on your next pizza. Honestly, I changed my mind about it. It's badass. Make sure you put that in there.
Yes! Pineapple does go on pizza. Take that!
Stay safe. Signed, Hangman Adam Page.
So wait, this is all we got? Thousands of deaths, economy collapsing, all you get out of it is pineapple on pizza really does work?
Yes!
Yeah, okay, sure, I agree, 100%. Pineapple on pizza, fuck all of y'all who disagree.
There you go. That being said, so in short, as far as the world of professional wrestling goes, they're taking necessary steps to how they deem best. Expect All Elite Wrestling to continue to reschedule their venue dates and where they're performing, and expect the WWE. I mean, if it's working for them right now, expect them to continue to host their weekly editions of their shows at the Performance Center. Although it seems awkward watching their because I was watching a bit of SmackDown, it seemed awkward watching it being performed at the Performance Center with no audience in attendance.
Although, if you look at it this way, this is the best audience participation they've ever had in the last few years. Because the audience has to be piped in, the sound of their crowd is so dead without it, that this empty arena concept is probably working the best for them that they've ever had.
You know what that reminds me of? That YouTube video of somebody just making, showing clips of sitcom, but removing away the canned laughter.
Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond is the most depressing thing I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It hurts to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what else hurts to watch?
What?
First off, thank you for that very, very educational statement by the Hangman. Thank you very much, Mr. Hangman. I appreciate that you care about your fans so much. But now let's talk about the one thing that we know is the real source of problems here: human stupidity.
Stupidity.
We all know the true vector of
Don't
infection
figure.
of Corona-chan is stupid people. Her fans have ensured that her influence spreads far and wide, and her concerts are sold out of living bodies.
Thanks,
my
Nathan.
friend Juan sent me this amazing article here of somebody who wrote down what they believe to be the real cause of the virus.
Okay. Do you want to read it this time?
You know what? Let's let him
Okay.
read it.
If you give it to me. If you want it, it's all yours. I ain't gonna take it from
Actually, yeah. Let's let Juan speak up.
We have to preface this by informing you guys. This is dumb as fuck. This was actually put out by someone last month when the craze was first coming out, and people had no clue what was going on. So, of course, the conspiracy theorists started coming out in droves, and one motherfucker in particular who posted this ignorant shit on a friend of mine's page decided that this was the explanation for all of it.
Juan, continue.
I
Here we
apologize
go.
in advance. This is fucking dumb. Help.
Here we go.
Please, in your best Alex Jones impression.
All right.
Why, listen, this is the best Alex Jones impression. What I give it to you, goddammit.
All right. Let's not scream too loud.
Lyra is preventively protecting her brain from retard waves.
I could
Wow, dude.
Yes.
as a point, I could only make it through maybe a third of what he's about to read before I had to make him stop and leave the room before my brain melted.
This is gonna be good.
All right.
So, yes, I apologize.
Don't
Not
say
yet.
I didn't warn you. The Chinese were all given mandatory vaccines last fall. The vaccine contained replicating, digitized, in parentheses, controllable, RNA, which were activated by 60 gigahertz millimeter 5G waves, that were just turned on in Wuhan, as well as other countries, using 60 gigahertz 5Gs, with the smart dust that everyone on the globe has been inhaling through chemtrails.
Oh,
That's why when they say someone is cured, the virus can be digitally reactivated anytime and the person can literally drop dead. The Diamond Princess cruise ship was specifically equipped with 60 gigahertz 5G. It's basically remote assassination. Americans are currently...
Jose, get off Facebook.
Oh, no.
No, he's sharing the shit.
I'm sharing it. I'm
Fine.
doing the right thing.
Oh God.
I was doing the same thing earlier.
Oh God.
But go on.
I have to continue.
Forget Corona. This is gonna kill me faster.
Cover your mouth.
Americans are currently breathing in this smart dust through chemtrails. Think of it like this. Add the combination of vaccines, chemtrails, like aka smart dust, and 5G, and your body becomes internally digitized and can be remotely controlled.
Oh,
A person's organ functions can be stopped remotely if one is deemed not compliant. Wuhan was a test run for ID 2020.
Oh God.
The elite called this 60 gigahertz millimeter 5G wave the V wave, V for virus, to mock us. So Trump has created a space
Oh my
force
God.
hard to combat
This is
this
bad.
technology.
Hang on. What?
We need to vehemently reject the attempted mandatory vaccine issue because our lives depend on it.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever seen
Talk-
somebody jump through so many hoops just to get to the conclusion of I will not vaccinate myself?
I wish I could make this up. Some asshole put this up on someone's Facebook page as an explanation.
Well, what is it called again? Occam's razor, with like the line between parody and reality.
No,
you can't tell.
No, Occam's razor is also with all
Almost being equal,
the
simplest.
simplest explanation has to be the correct one.
Oh, okay, sorry. But what's the one where you just go, at some point you cannot tell where reality begins and the parody ends because it's all so stupid?
I don't remember.
I don't
My
either.
Yeah.
Show him your face one.
Show me your
Like,
face.
this has been me to this entire thing, right before I broke into hilarious, empty laughter.
There.
We have reached an amazing point because I haven't seen this level of panic since... When was the last time people panicked this hard over something like this?
Wasn't it over that H1N1 virus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Swine
No.
flu.
The
Swine
hilarious
flu.
thing is, unlike the swine flu and the
And then
Spanish
avian
flu,
flu.
and the Spanish fly,
And the Spanish fly.
Yeah.
The thing is,
fuck you up. That's actually
SARS.
not.
swine flu wasn't that bad in terms of
Just kill the pigs.
it. Yeah, in terms of its strength, I guess you could call it.
It's powerless.
It wasn't that virulent. Bird flu was way worse.
Yes.
They're expecting corona to be on the level, if not worse.
It's already been a month. And hang on, actually, somebody look it up. How many people has the bird flu killed?
The bird flu. All right.
Yeah, let's-
Yeah, y'all look that up.
It is time for good old-fashioned, on-the-side intelligence procuring.
And while they're looking that up, here
Google.
in Florida, as far as other events are concerned, the organizers of Holiday Matsuri, MegaCon Orlando, and MetroCon, they've all released their public statements basically saying that they're monitoring the situation and they will update us as we go into
Fuck.
What did you find?
This is the first case of the strain found in a human on June 5, 2019. Since then, there has been 1,568 confirmed cases and only 616 deaths worldwide from the H7N9 strain of avian flu. Corona has already done roughly 10 times that amount.
In
We
terms of
weren't
infection.
No,
But-
I'm talking
Oh, the
death.
death. Yeah, you're right.
Corona has killed 5,000 plus. This thing barely killed 600 people.
Told you, they're expecting it. They were already
Already
expecting
gone
it to be way
beyond.
worse.
It's been a month! That's the part that amazes me. It's only been 30 days, and this stupid thing has already taken so many lives.
Case in
And
point,
so many
Italy.
people.
So you
Angel,
mean- so you
case
mean
in
to tell
point,
me-
Italy, their death toll went from like 100 something to like 600 something in 24 hours.
Guys,
So you mean to tell me that all this shit is coming to a crescendo 30 days later?
28 days later?
I'm gonna walk away from this chair right now, I swear to God. So, okay, so.
We're laughing. This is
Increasingly
serious, but we gotta
probable
find a way to
risks of
laugh.
a zombie apocalypse aside,
How
do we fight it? You don't. Shut up. You don't fight Corona-chan. You're not Goku. You can handle this. Even Goku died from a heart problem.
No, he got cured. He
As
just
we know, the doctors have already given us the instructions. Keep your hands clean. Keep your asshole clean. Keep the rest of your body clean. Avoid excessive physical contact. If you're sick, put on the damn mask. If you're not sick, you don't need the mask. Stop raiding the goddamn store for it. The doctors need that shit more than you do.
Because think of it this way. This is what happens if you are not sick and you take up all the masks.
It's also
Those sick people are going to be coughing and sneezing, and that stuff's going to touch every possible surface. You get home, your hands are going to touch that mask, which is now covered in the germs. You take off the mask, and now it's on your hands, and it's all over your clothes. But you're thinking, oh my God, I wore a mask, I'm safe. So you're walking around all day at home in the same clothes that you went and got coughed on in. Let the people who are sick, are coughing, sneezing, let them wear the masks. Because that's going to prevent the spread far more than you wearing a mask yourself if you're not sick.
Well, no, every man for himself. Though. That's what I'm thinking. In one way, the paranoia is justified, considering the damage this virus has done. On the other hand, it feels like the paranoia is pointed in the complete different direction of every man, woman, and child for themselves, screw everybody else. Natural selection. If they die, they die.
And
That's what it feels like is happening right now.
And that's how you end up with more people dying than should. But back to Italy as a case in point, when they first started hearing when the Italian people first started hearing reports of it, they're all like, oh no, it affects older people, it's just the flu. They went around walking and talking and interacting as they normally do.
Lo and behold, here we are.
A little bit later, look how big it's exploded. And I'm going to have to refine my source on it, but they're saying that the way it's spread in the United States is about a week to 2 weeks behind Seattle, because Seattle was a major Asian port. Seattle is about a week behind the rest of the world, and Seattle's already about at the point that Italy is in terms of having to shut down everything.
No surprises there.
So 2 weeks, maybe, and we're looking at the entire country being Italy.
No surprises.
If our government doesn't get off their asses and look to saving some people from, this is the current CDC guideline for being tested.
You want to sip in on this, the KStorm? You know what? Come on in.
No, I'm sitting over here.
No, don't.
No, let me sit over here, please, because I'm also keeping track
If she gets too close,
screen.
I'll tag you in.
No. Juan.
too close, you might get infected by the mean flu.
Damn it, Angel, knock it off.
All right, you guys.
Back to the point. Current CDC guidelines.
Right.
For approving to test.
Oh, great.
You must either have been in the region where it's been, you either have to have been in the Wuhan region or confirmed contact with someone who is already diagnosed. If you come in thinking you might have been exposed because you're starting to have the symptoms that they're saying you're supposed to have for this, they don't care. They're not going to test you because they can't confirm it. And guess where those guidelines are coming down, ladies and gentlemen? And those of non-binary genders. Our government.
Of course they are.
Did you know that prior to this, the Pandemic Alert Squad, the Pandemic Response Squad, was disbanded?
Yeah, no surprises there either.
And
we gotta keep those business running no matter what the hell is going on.
And guess what our illustrious leader said when asked about it? I didn't know that.
Oh, that's the first thing I've ever heard of it.
It's either
He's the one who signed off on it.
But the question is, did he knowingly sign off on it, or is he in the habit of signing whatever's put in front of him?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, he is.
That man's hand doesn't even move on its own. There's like a fucking like a set of strings and pulleys that just do his signature when he sits on his desk.
So
Take a minute and grab something to drink. KStorm, please come take my seat for now.
no,
That's fine.
I am in pajamas.
So no one's gonna
Go get
judge
your
you.
drink. We'll be good.
This is the internet. No one's gonna judge you.
I'm judging me.
Well, that's a personal
Okay,
problem.
well,
I'm sorry,
how
I
about
can't
we
help
do
you
this?
You go.
Just
go.
go. Don't
Go.
make it
Tell you what,
complicated.
Go.
take his seat. I will become Juan
Yes,
in the next few
become
moments.
Juan, and
I am
No!
oh, everything is going wrong. Why is everything broken? I need to fix it right now.
anyways.
Actually, unfortunately, that is a fairly accurate.
Hey, is my line
So
off?
while Lyra does make a good,
No, you're still
our
on.
illustrious.
Juan's off.
Okay.
Juan shut his off so he could leave the room. But, no, that's a fairly accurate imitation of Juan.
Okay, guys. Yay.
He handed me a mask, which means he's insistent.
Of course he is.
Good boy.
As usual.
So everybody, KStorm is here now to let us know how quickly we're all gonna die.
So
Yep.
yes, Lyra does make a good point. While our illustrious leader
Leader.
and our government are not doing anything to try and help the situation, that doesn't mean that we can't follow instructions as directed by the CDC, as Lyra mentioned earlier, to try and take care of ourselves.
We got
Wash your hands. 20 seconds. It's not that hard. If you don't know how long 20 seconds is, the initial way they were putting it is sing happy birthday at least once, but preferably twice, and that is with soap and water and the hottest water you can stand.
Yes.
Now, this
Scald
is
your hands. Peel a whole layer of skin off.
really, this is what you do. Wet your hands in the water. So, wash, wash, wash. Wash, wash, wash. Wash, wash, wash. Wash, 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 wash. Wash, wash, wash. Wash, wash, wash. Wash, wash, washy, washy, wash, wash, wash. Wash it. Wash it. Wash it, wash it, wash it, wash it, wash it. Rinse it thoroughly. And that's where the hot water part comes in. Because it's not so much the temperature of the water as how well you're scrubbing the germs off with the soap.
Right.
And then rinse, 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 rinse before you touch that faucet. Preferably paper towels, of course, but if you have a hand towel, reach over, grab your towel, paper or a cloth, dry your hands, then shut off the faucet. Don't touch the faucet after you've washed your hands
Right.
with your hands.
Do you have an equally detailed explanation to how to wipe your ass? Because I think they might need one too.
Well, how much explanation do you need to wipe your own
Okay.
ass?
Okay.
Remember the.
Get your, however thick a water toilet paper is to your personal comfort, because some people are different. Take your hand, front to back, clean it until there's nothing left, and then until you're wiping nothing on the toilet paper, then throw it in the toilet.
And flush that shit.
And flush that shit, and especially for the ladies, front to back, not back to front. Back to front is the fastest way to get a UTI.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Good point.
Okay then.
So, congratulations on giving the very important information that shit you should have known in preschool, you dumb idiots. But,
Seriously.
seriously indeed, it is as simple as practice personal hygiene and thoroughly clean yourself. It's not that difficult. I'm not saying it's going to keep you 100% safe, but it'll essentially differentiate you from everybody. And you know what? You should sing happy birthday when you wash your hands, so you remember how many you're not going to have if this shit catches you.
There's that.
Yeah, there's that.
You want to die? Keep your ass and your hands clean.
Now,
It's not that difficult.
Yeah, no. And as far as schools are concerned here in Florida.
Oh, no, they can go to hell.
The schools?
Yeah, all of them.
Dude! We have kids that go to school!
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the kids. I mean the institution itself. The educational system is kind of fucked.
This is true.
Okay.
But
Burn it all.
No, I was going to say, the schools here in Hillsborough County, and I'm assuming all over the state of Florida, are all closed right now until March 30th.
the dictate came down from the Florida Department of Education. All schools in the state must close for 2 weeks. Now, the schools here in our area and in the immediate surrounding areas are going into spring break, which means they have an extra week afterward.
Yeah.
For those in Hillsborough County, if you were not already aware and do not already have it, during the second week, the extra week, educational materials will be available. You received a flyer regarding the school websites in order to get your work. Those are going to be accessible starting the 23rd. What you may not already know is that Spectrum, for those who do not already have a subscription, 60 days of free internet. And I'm not certain if it's up to 100 megabytes, but it might be. but 60 days for new and waiving installation fees for new student installations in order to make sure that if this goes bad, kids still get to have school.
My goodness, that's actually very helpful.
That is. Now, that is Hillsborough County. So if you want more questions or the phone number to call, because you do have to call them in order to get that deal, it's hillsboroughschools.org/coronavirus, and it'll have all the information up to date about what the county's doing and all that. And yes, this is me making a big deal of it because, hi, Mom, hello. If you don't, for those outside Hillsborough County, if you do not already know what's going on, search your county school websites, the county school board website for information, because those kids deserve an education even if they can't go to school.
Of course.
I wholeheartedly agree.
They also deserve another week of vacation, though. Good on them kids. They got
That is true. Extra week of spring break. Do not travel for spring break, though.
Please don't.
Have a staycation. Travel is the fastest way to either get exposed or to expose others.
Just do what we always do and stay inside playing video games until your
that's
eyeballs.
Yes, please.
Yes. On that subject of traveling, that's something else that President Trump has recently issued. He has recently issued a travel ban for 30 days. No one is to travel outside the country.
Wow.
If I'm correct.
The travel ban was recently expanded from, it was originally to Asian countries, understandably. Now it was to Europe, now it's to UK and Ireland. I am fully expecting, I go check my phone for news in like the next hour, I am fully expecting to hear that he has announced a full travel ban, but here's the thing. That's not gonna do shit.
Because people are dumb.
No. There's already so many cases here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's not gonna matter at all.
Yeah.
The next step is one that I hope they won't actually take, considering how far close to it we've already spiraled.
You mean the one where North Korea some dude broke quarantine and got shot to death in the middle of the street by the military?
No,
Or some bitch got
but shutting down domestic travel and the like, that's gonna, now he could shut down all flights, all trains, all Greyhound bus type things, all boats, but domestic travel, so within the country.
Yes.
But in order to stop automotive travel and pedestrian travel and stuff like that requires martial law. And considering we've already been tending to devolve into an authoritarian fascist regime anyway, if we go under martial law, I am afraid that we're not going to come out of it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So let's hope it doesn't get to the point where that's necessary. That regardless of our usual faith in humanity,
You mean zero?
my point,
Yeah.
that our fellow Americans actually are smart for once and do what's necessary to, if not minimize the spread, because there's no real minimizing at this point, at least take sensible precautions for themselves. Now, I say sensible. Every person you've seen in front of you in the last little bit, we all have fairly strong immune systems. Fully grown adult. Our 10-year-old,
Angel, please.
chronologically we're adults.
Go ahead.
The 10-year-old that we have hovering around whatever he's doing right now, probably playing video games. Because that's what he does when we're not looking.
Good boy.
He has a fairly strong immune system. But we have friends, family that aren't. If you know someone who is at risk and you yourself are healthy, if you can leave the house to go and help them do things like collect supplies, get groceries, stuff like that, if you have the ability to do that for them, do so. Help them minimize their exposure, because those who are immunocompromised, our elders, all of those, they're the most at risk.
Oh,
And I was, much as I hate thinking about it, I was talking to Juan yesterday. You guys have heard, they haven't, but you guys have heard how much I miss my dad.
Yes.
All this and all that, and how much I wish he was still here. But in light of this, I am glad he went, that he's already passed. Because if he caught it, it would. Not might. Would take him, because those who have heart problems, those who have lung issues, those who have other complications, they're going to be the ones hit worst.
Oh yeah, we've seen what it does to healthy people.
We've seen what it does to healthy people. But please, if you know someone who's immunocompromised, don't push them to come and be social. Find ways to help them not be social.
Because the only option is to make them not be alive.
And quit hoarding all the sanitation supplies.
Oh,
You don't need it as much as they do to stay alive. Back to you.
No.
I'm going to step off the metaphorical soapbox.
All right,
You're
see you in a
fine,
bit.
You're fine. And honestly,
And I'm putting Juan back in.
that as
Hey, right on time.
Thank you, KStorm.
Yes, I think as far as the coronavirus situation is concerned, I think we've basically addressed everything that we needed to say.
Breaking news.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hang on.
Oh no. On the subject that we were actually discussing about our illustrious leader being exposed.
Ho, 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 ho.
He has, at this point in time, tested negative.
Oh, well, look at that.
Bullshit.
Breaking news. I said, note my words, at this point in time.
At this point in time.
So,
Man, you're
but
supposed
the
to-
fact that he felt the need to get tested, is he sick?
Could he be? Who knows?
Could he have caught a cold?
It means two things. Either, as our friend Juan so eloquently put, bullshit. Or two, somebody else is positive in the entourage. A lot of hands must have been shaken during that particular event.
That's what he does a lot. He shakes everyone's
Not
hand.
just
makes
his.
sure it's-
There
yeah.
was a lot of hands shaking among a lot of important people in fancy suits. And that
Yes.
usually means the boomer doomer is going to spread and bring down with the...
God.
Must we call it that? Wait, yes,
Funny, it's
because...
better than Woof
Well,
Loop.
no. Yes, we must, because...
It's less racist than Woof Loop.
Here's all of us going around saying, hey, the current state of economy, the current state of affairs, so on and so forth, poor wages, all this lack of health care, it's killing us. And they're like, oh, suck it up, snowflake. But the moment this comes up, oh my God, we got to take all these things. Okay, boomer.
Okay.
How dare you?
Every single problem that's being brought up, oh my God, well, schools are out, well, where are my kids are supposed to go, or this, or that, all these problems that are piling up, that are starting to present themselves because we have to start closing things down, are the problems that our generation, and by the way, our generation, you see us here, all 30-somethings,
Right.
we are millennials.
Yep.
Not the kids.
Okay.
The adults are the millennials. We're the ones who have been saying, this is a problem, fix it. This is a problem, fix it. And it took this for fixing?
It took it literally...
So hopping back off the soapbox.
It took humanity
I realize I'm back off the
It took
soapbox.
a humanity wiping plague to finally
No,
face
but
politics. Who knew?
soapbox aside, thank you, Lyra, for updating
I
us
am
on that information.
back on the
And I
damn
think As far as the
soapbox.
coronavirus is concerned, I think we've addressed everything that we needed to say. If there's any comments right now,
There have not been.
There haven't been any comments this whole time.
Yeah,
They
okay,
have been
but
listening
during-
intently.
well,
but
thank you.
during the live stream of the Wednesday Night War, I remember one of the people who commented on it actually
Yes,
asked
our
this
friend
question.
Kendra.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember what the question was?
All she was asking, she wanted us to comment on it, and she also wanted to know which conventions we are going to attend.
None, apparently.
As many, at this point,
Fucking Lee, none.
at this point in time, the number of conventions we are going to attend is up in the air because it does depend greatly on whether those conventions are actually going to take place. At this point, we are waiting on a new announcement for Omni for these three gentlemen to attend. MegaCon Orlando, again, for some combination of these three. Depends on their announcements. MetroCon, we are awaiting. MetroCon, Holiday Matsuri, LumiCon, all of that, we are waiting to see as it gets closer to the event to see what is going to occur. And we have no way of knowing because we don't know if in 2 weeks this is going to be exploded to the point where the entire country's locked down a la Italy, or if it's going to be in 6 months or anything.
We'll have to
So
grab the shotguns and the riot gear.
we will keep you up to date via our Facebook page,
We'll keep
pretty much all our pages.
Yes, naturally, we're going to keep our ears to the ground, and we're going to keep you guys informed of the developments of the situation. And if If anything does pop up, we'll know about it, and you'll be the first to hear it from us. Greatest flock.
Yep, exactly. At this point, God, this has just been one depressing bit after another.
It has.
This is the greatest stench of Kafka comedy I had to deal with in a long time, my dude.
Honestly, though,
There were so many ways this could have been prevented. And
There were.
every single one of them was fell to human error.
Yep.
And I can't help but to laugh, because if I don't laugh, I'm going to start thinking about it.
you want to know
Think
what?
about it too much. I'm going to get off this chair and walk onto the street.
Yep.
Please don't.
And the worst of this, what were at the beginning of the year? What were we all? What was the internet joking about?
That's right.
1820, a plague. 1920, a plague. 2020 question mark.
Gotta follow it up. Also, you know what I find
Also, a millennial humor of fatalistic death and all this shit and waiting for the sweet embrace.
Well,
Coronavirus shows up, and we have the fucking meme of that one Nigerian movie. Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
If it were not for the laws of this land, I would have slaughtered you.
Oh my God.
You know
Also,
what I mean?
I must point out to another
hell?
dark spot of irony. About roughly before the beginning of 2020, it became very apparent that many industries were relying on the money that was coming out of China. Movies have been
Catered to China.
Catered to China.
We made
Video games have been catered to China. Many industries have turned to the Chinese money, and I swear to God, I still want to know where all that money came from. But I digress. China briefly became an industry giant, a huge sponge that if you squeeze it hard enough, just money shits out. And then, come 2020, just
Everything shuts down.
Yeah.
THIS, this, right here.
There's an STD joke to be had about this, but
You're gonna get something thrown at you if you
There's
make it.
no joke. Too much dick got sucked and now somebody got infected. Welcome to the gift that keeps on giving. Corona Chan is here to stay for a while. No, I gotta say it because this is the way it was supposed to go. Once again, human stupidity has gone and screwed up something that we should have, could have, would have handled quickly and relatively effectively if people had just listened. If they had not fallen into the trap of panic and despair.
a person is smart, but people
Are panicking, stupid animals,
And
everyone
then
knows it.
everyone knows it.
And here we are. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on the throes of a cataclysm created by good old-fashioned
Hubris!
You did this. I'm talking to you. No, you, not that guy. No, you stay there. You're cool. You didn't wash your hands. And now little Timmy is going to die, choking on his own long mucus as his central nervous system ties itself up in a guardian knot and chokes him to death. And that is on you. I hope you feel bad about it because it makes me feel good about it.
But not all human beings.
Of course
are
not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to generalize. All of you are not bad people, or the vast majority of you. But I digress.
Wow, Angel.
All right, well, you were giving good advice. Guys, please check out the Asian markets in the area. They're surprisingly empty. No crowds and traffic. It's great.
Not empty of, mind you, that is not empty of goods. They are empty of people because of the constant discrimination against Asians. Everybody's like, oh God, we need to stay away from Asian people. And you're overlooking all these people who have bought out all the rice in the bloody stores. Go to Asian markets, they got more.
You guys realize
That's a staple of their diet.
You guys realize that China
I swear
is.
to God.
Yes.
You guys do realize China is like on the other side of the planet. Are we on the same wavelength here? Are we doing that thing where we're assuming that a person is from a race, so every single person is from that race, like a giant amoeba?
Pretty
No,
much.
I'm glad that you and Lyra brought this up because holy crap. Okay, yes, this whole situation has thrown us into a frenzy. That doesn't mean that we have to be that we have to discriminate against Asians or against Chinese
Against
people.
anyone, really.
Against anyone, because it's not their fault. It's not.
They're just
idiot government's fault.
They are just people like you and I, and they are. In fact, the fact that this shit started in their country means that they're suffering more than you and I. I wonder how many of them have family and friends over there that they will never see again.
There's one person that we know of personally who is being affected by family being quarantined. You might recognize her. She started off a lone little business doing costuming work and becoming an international icon for the cosplay and geek community. Yaya Han. She's got family in China. She's mortified. She's not getting as much news out of it as she wants, and she's just on pins and needles. Not just at the fact that her entire touring enterprise has been ground to a screeching halt because of this shit, but she's got family in China that is being physically, personally affected by it, and she can't do anything about it. So, Yayahan, if you're listening, we empathize, we sympathize profusely. Of course, we don't want anything bad happening to you or your family. Stay safe.
All our hopes.
Yeah,
all our hopes.
We would like to say we send our best wishes, but we ain't got no prayers left. I'm just tired of seeing people die because of their own stupidity and blaming others for things that they have no responsibility over. We just want this whole... honestly, we just want to survive this whole thing, all right?
Yeah.
I would like to say that we're going to survive this with minimum loss of life, but we are 5,000 plus people in, and that clearly ain't going to slow down anytime soon.
Apparently.
All we can do right now is keep to ourselves, our hygiene, and try to endure the best we can. And, as I said, let us not divide ourselves in this time of strife. Turning towards each other will solve nothing except simply add more bodies to a pile that seems to be growing more and more as the days go by. All we can do is try to stick together and endure. This is not an opponent that can be killed with guns and knives. This is an opponent that can be killed if we all stick together. No, literally! If we all work together to survive and endure it. Listen to your medical professionals because they know this shit better than...
Are we hugging it out?
Okay, this is a problem that all except the people in this room can survive if we're willing to work
I
together.
guess we're hugging this out.
Point in case is, guys,
Thanks.
listen to your medical professionals. Don't do stupid shit.
Don't
Wash your hands,
stupid shit.
in your butt, and just wait it out. All we can do right now is wait it out. You're not Goku. You can't power level this shit. Corona-chan's power level is higher than yours.
Yeah.
If she gets into your body, you are very likely to not walk out of this in one piece, even if you're relatively healthy. So have some consideration for yourself and others.
As our mother would used to tell us when we were children, enjuágate la nalga.
Thank you.
We don't speak Spanish, that means
Clean your ass.
clean your ass.
Remember, Corona-chan is very typically described as a girl. That means that she can wield the power of the chancla, and her chancla will kill your ass.
Now,
Yes.
Now, as
Your
far,
mama will discipline you. Corona-chan will put you down, and she won't let you get up.
now, as far as content for the Ravens flock is concerned, that's
Yes,
not gonna
We are
Right.
canceling the Ravens flock on behalf of the Eagles.
No, we're not.
Angel!
Listen, as long as I live and breathe cold air, and as long as I stay strong and alive, we are not canceling the Ravens flock for anything.
Dude, you live in Florida. You don't. There are great swatches of time where you don't breathe cold air.
Fair enough.
So
Okay.
don't even start.
All right. Well, as far as our shows goes, our weekly live stream editions of the Wednesday Night Wars will continue every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram. We will continue to work on providing other shows for you that are under our channel, which includes our podcast, The Black Files, which is usually produced on Mondays, available on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. And when we get around to it, we'll also put out more videos of Los Amigos Play. I know we've taken a back seat from doing video let's plays for you
It's
guys.
his fault.
So
It is all his fault.
I apologize. A combination of real-life business has severely delayed me, but I have recently acquired a promotion in my position that has changed my schedule to give me a bit more free time so I can finally put in more content. Very
High
sorry
five.
to the few of you that actually enjoy my videos.
The
I'll
good-
try to get in there again.
The
I
good
promise.
news is that the streaming setup that we have here is another test that we're hoping to apply to Los Amigos Play as well.
Let's
Absolutely.
See what happens.
You know,
Absolutely.
why the fuck not?
We'll see.
And as far as keeping our ears to the ground and keeping you informed, yes, it is important that you guys do tune in to our to the Black Files, because on our episodes for the Black Files, which will come out on Mondays, we'll also continue to address the updates and developments of the coronavirus situation. Will be, Juan?
No, I don't want to talk about that shit.
No.
Of course, we'll have to if it's necessary, but we want to stick to what we want to discuss, which is stuff about the geek community, the geek world here. We want to be able to discuss this shit because we have other YouTube siblings here who don't get to because they depend on the monetization of their channels. But the moment they put their shit out, they even mention the word coronavirus or COVID-19.
Demonetized.
That yellow badge is on them like a fucking
Which I
plague.
still don't
Pretty much.
understand. What's the point of, like, what is
Oh,
that?
it's a touchy subject.
What?
It's
what?
problematic
So
subject.
what? Am I racist against the Chinese if I mention Corona-chan?
How dare you? No.
Am I insulting their heritage
like,
if I realize that
to
something
ex-
is murdering them all?
I have
No.
no.
I believe it's considered fear mongering and inciting a panic.
What is
Hey,
Juan
guys.
trying to do?
It exists. How dare you? Really? That's how it works?
Yeah,
Apparently.
basically.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Where I come from, that's called censorship. Am I wrong?
You're not.
You're
You're
not.
not
Okay,
wrong.
just wanted to check that.
3 examples of other channels that I know have been trying to cover this shit without much success monetarily. Mr. Repsion, he made a quick little 2-minute shitpost video through his own admission of how to survive the coronavirus quarantine with all the toilet paper you hoard. The moment he added the word coronavirus on it, he got demonetized. He had to edit that out of the title. Clownfish TV, which is another YouTube channel that does geek news, they had to switch off their monetization, knowing for a fact that they're not able to make money off of ad revenue.
Just so they could talk about it.
Just so they could talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a stream they put up a few nights ago. Go ahead and look it up.
Oh, by the way, hilariously, Corona just means crown in Spanish.
Yep.
So
Crown chance. So what? She's a
you have,
queen. Whatever.
she's also your queen. Well,
Yas queen.
she's the Mary Elizabeth one, the one that just cuts off heads, apparently.
Oh my God. All right.
And thirdly, our close personal friend, Mr. Andy Signor, the Lord and ruler of the popcorn planet.
Sup, dude?
Which I got to jump in on his first edition of Nerd Wars Demonetized, where he actually managed to get conference videos with people and discuss stuff online on the live chat. So, and like anytime he tries to discuss it or bring it up, big fat nothing. He can't even say it. He's got to say, "Oh, it's this other. It's the issue or the beer bug or whatever."
The beer bug.
You know
That's what
what?
it's called now?
No, like
Well,
to your death. No, so.
Oh my God, this is great. This is
Yeah.
great.
But yeah,
The
no.
fact that people are desperately trying to skitter around just saying the name, it's like Lord Voldemort.
Well,
You
because
say-
Moldy Pants?
He literally curses your shit.
You mean Little Tom Riddle?
Exactly.
Lord,
Oh.
Lord Moldy Pants.
Exactly. See, I can't believe it. It's a fucking taboo.
Voldemort?
It's become an actual taboo to talk about it.
on social media, on YouTube.
On social media.
Without
It's
losing-
that's you can't say it without suffering consequences.
That is some quality
In the
shit.
Harry Potter world, that is the literal definition of the taboo.
Yeah, they
It later,
actually had a
become,
curse.
it later becomes an actual curse in the last book when it actually
It is.
It turns into a GPS for the bad guys.
Well,
But, oh my God.
it always was.
But
Yeah.
so
It was originally.
back in the day before he was while he was powerful enough to in order to
Can
do
you imagine being so panicky that we're going back to medieval times? Do not call out its name, or it will come into your house and take your children. Actually, it's most likely to take my grandpa, but I still don't want him to go.
Oh
Well,
my God!
I'm hoping that it doesn't come to the Dark Ages or whatnot.
Too late.
And honestly, I think right now we should come to a close. It is almost 9 p.m. here on
Jesus,
on
already?
our time. Yep.
It is 8:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's fine. We ran an hour and a
We
half.
ran an hour and a half,
It
and
feels so much shorter than that.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry.
Must be my lifespan being decreased by this virus.
You're always hungry.
Right, folks, we do want to
That's
thank
good
you
food.
very much
Oink.
for joining us. Thank you for watching this stream wherever, whenever. Share it with your friends. Try to have a laugh as we're trying to desperately and miserably. Take the news and notification that you're getting out of this stuff with a grain of salt. Verify information that you get on this because lots of stupid people are pushing a lot of stupid shit and people are actually taking it to heart. We had to have a fucking CDC notification reminding you, by the way, drinking bleach will not cure you. It
Oh,
will
yeah.
kill you.
To be fair,
Poison Control Center.
if people are going to that level,
Kept getting calls.
that is no longer lack of common sense. That is just natural selection working on worse. We are seeing the
The-
iteration of the Darwin Awards.
Yep. Newest one
Let's
is
see
the
who
Darwin
gets to be the
Award.
winner this week. Was it the man who took his daughter to a party filled with people after they both tested positive? Was it the jackass that infected a whole plane because he insisted on going first class? Or will it be the sad little fool that decided to drink the manga made by Tai Kubo in the year 2000?
He means bleach.
He got killed by the plot holes. Poor man.
Yes.
So many plot
All
holes.
right, but no.
Thanks.
Yes, please take care of yourselves. Fact check your information before you lose your minds.
And your life.
Listen to your doctors. Listen to your professionals. Follow your instructions. Take very care of yourselves, and also please do not discriminate one another. The last thing we need on our society right now is to turn on each other. Please. With that said, I think this pretty much caps off our live stream edition. Juancho, plug us away.
You want me to plug?
I don't know.
What
We
is
always
with you?
You know, like an EpiPen. Just
we it's always been our mission.
It is time for our personal time of
Okay.
high quality corporate whoring with Juan Arauz.
Sorry. It was subconscious. I apologize.
It's not subconscious. It's a.
Habit.
It's always a habit. Every time we always do something.
It's a habit.
Let me fucking
It's
say it.
practice, man.
Okay. Let me
Angel,
say
shut up and let him talk.
Okay, guys, shut the fuck up for a second. Apparently, I'm the plug man.
You always win.
That's what she
Thank you
said.
very much for watching this episode of the Ravens Flock live streamed to you on YouTube. And please show support for the Ravens Flock on our new Teespring store, teespring.com/store/the Ravens Flock. That's the-Ravens-Flock. And of course, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/ravensflock, Twitter.com/ravensflock13, Instagram.com/ravensflockonline, and of course, click below, hit thumbs up, hit the notification bell, subscribe to us, leave us comments, and share all our videos on youtube.com/ravensflock. Home of the Black Files, also Amigos Plate, and the Ravens Flock.
All right, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we are the Ravens Flock, and we are out.